Good morning, all. Let me just talk today about oral discourse. So, when I say oral discourse, it refers to the different types of oral discourse. Namely, when we talk orally on certain issues or topics, we tend to pass on to our recipient or the audience. So, in this classroom, we have different forms or different types of oral discourse, which is also called, which may be in the form of suggestions, questions. So when a suggestion is coming from the students, it needs to be accepted. So it is a two-way communication. There are questions. So when a topic is being put forward orally by the teacher in the classroom, we also expect certain kind of questions from on the teachers and from the students also. Moreover, a topic when it is given to the students to be discussed in the classroom and they put in their thoughts, we call it as a brainstorming. There is storming of the brains of the students who are discussing the topic. There is also communication. When I say communication, it refers to a two-way communication between the teachers and the students. There is also discussion between the teachers and students, and there may also be a discourse in the form of talks, speeches, or debates. So these are different forms of classroom discourse when I call. Now, when I say oral discourse, I refer to it is a foundation for student learning. So it is essential for literacy learning, and successful use of language is critical for students' well-being. So whenever an oral discourse is being conducted, it has got certain purpose or it is of use to both the teachers and the students. So to name some of the importance of oral discourse in the classroom, it is the foundation of student learning. It clarifies concepts. If students have certain doubts relating to certain topic, they can put forward to the teacher and the teacher solves such doubts in the classroom in the form of an oral discourse. Then it promotes interaction. Unless and until the student puts forward his thoughts, his suggestions, his questions, there cannot be an interaction. So, oral discourse believes in interaction between the teachers and the students. It also develops confidence. Yes, when a student speaks up, when a teacher clarifies the doubt, when the teacher asks certain answers from the students, it clarifies the doubts as well as develops confidence to speak by the student. It enhances vocabulary when there is interaction between the teacher and the students on certain topics, on certain content. It is going to enhance vocabulary among the students. It also checks the pronunciation. This is one of the important part of an oral discourse where the teacher can identify certain pronunciation problems, certain speech defects also we can say when a student is suffering from referring back or when the student responses back when the student speaks. So this is one of the advantage or importance we can say of oral discourse. Diagnosis and remedy. For instance, when I said then the student is going to reply to the queries put forward by the teachers. It develops the teacher to find out any problems in the students with reference to say vocabulary, with reference to say speed, pronunciation. The teacher diagnoses or identifies such problems in students and try to give remedial teaching. Remedial teaching in the sense she tries to solve the problem using different techniques. Next, we have the retention. Long lasting retention is possible when there is oral discourse. A student tends to remember whatever was being discussed in the classroom because the students are involved in the discussion. When they participate in the discussion, it is but natural the students may retain the content learned for a longer period of time. It also helps in solving the problem. Any kind of problems are there in the class related to the content. Any doubts related to the content, it is going to be clarified by the teacher and the problems are going to be solved through open discourse. Again, there won't be any kind of convergent thinking in the classroom if oral discourse is used. When oral discourse in the form of interaction, in the form of discussion, brainstorming is being used in the classroom, it is definitely going to promote critical thinking among the students. They are going to think the concept, the solution in a divergent way, in a new way, in an innovative way. This is possible only when there is interaction between the teachers and students, the classroom. Last but not the least, it develops the speaking skill. As I told you, that there are certain speaking skill which need to be developed in the classroom. Maybe when the student is having some kind of problems in speaking by way of a cleft lip or speaking problems or lack of confidence, which affects the continuation or fluency of speaking, this can be identified, it can be evaluated, it can be remedied by way of remedial teaching. The teacher can pay much attention to the students who is having such problem so that the students do not have such problem and reduce this problem in the near future. So this was the different meaning of oral discourse, types and importance of oral discourse. Thank you, students.